sound of a distant fading siren followed by silence. It starts with a flicker of uncertainty, a distant siren, and then everything changes. The power grid fails, the streets empty out, and the familiar rhythms of daily life just dissolve into confusion. In those first hours, you see neighbors gathering, sharing what little news they have, clinging to the hope that order will return soon. But as the hours stretch into days, the mood shifts. Patience wears thin, and panic starts to set in. That sense of community that once felt so strong begins to fracture. When society breaks down, the greatest threats aren't always the disasters themselves. It's the people they unleash. In a crisis, you don't just need to survive the event. You need to survive the people. Chaos, once unimaginable, becomes the new reality. Hidden dangers emerge from the shadows, and the line between friend and foe blurs. Today on Tipping Point Files, we're exposing the 3 most dangerous types of individuals you're likely to encounter during a societal collapse. We'll show you how to spot them before it's too late, why they're so dangerous, and what you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones. In a world where every decision can mean the difference between safety and chaos, knowing who to trust and who to avoid has never been more critical. Awareness is your first and best line of defense. Let's start with the first type, someone who is often invisible in the early days of a collapse, the opportunist. This person moves quietly through the chaos, blending in with the crowd. They might offer a helping hand or a reassuring word. On the surface, they seem like any other survivor, calm, resourceful, maybe even friendly. But underneath that mask, they have a very different agenda. The opportunist is always watching, always calculating, waiting for the right moment to strike. They thrive on confusion, using it to their advantage. They slip through the cracks in trust and exploit the vulnerabilities of everyone around them. They might offer to share supplies, only to disappear with yours in the middle of the night. Or they'll gather information, learning who has what, who is most at risk, and who makes an easy target. They look just like everyone else, until you become that target. In normal times, trust is a strength, but in the uncertainty of a collapse, it can become a dangerous weakness. The opportunist turns the bonds of community into tools for betrayal. They are a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest threats are the ones we never see coming. As the days of crisis drag on, a new, more visible danger emerges. The aggressor. Unlike the opportunist, the aggressor doesn't hide in the shadows. They are bold, loud, and completely unafraid to use force to get what they want. When fear rules, the strong prey on the weak. The aggressor thrives in the power vacuum left by a collapsing government and law enforcement. They use intimidation, threats, and outright violence to seize resources and control territory. They might form gangs or act alone, but their methods are always the same: overpower, dominate, and instill fear. Vulnerable individuals and families become easy targets, forced to make impossible choices just to stay safe for another day. The presence of an aggressor completely changes the atmosphere. It can turn once safe neighborhoods into battlegrounds where trust is replaced by suspicion, and every stranger is a potential threat. In this new world, strength becomes a weapon, and vulnerability becomes a liability. The aggressor is a constant, brutal reminder that when order disappears, your survival often depends not just on what you have, but on your ability to defend it. But not every threat carries a weapon. Some are far more subtle and in many ways more dangerous. This brings us to our third type, the manipulator. The manipulator is a master of deceit. They wield words instead of force and charm instead of intimidation. In the confusion of collapse, they often emerge as leaders, advisors, or trusted confidants, quickly earning the trust of those who are desperate for guidance and certainty. But their true talent, their real danger, lies in their ability to sow division. The manipulator thrives on conflict. They whisper rumors, twist facts, and expertly turn groups against each other, all for their own personal gain. They might pit neighbors against one another over scarce resources, or convince an entire group to ostracize someone who poses no real threat at all. Their motives are always self-serving, and their actions leave communities fractured, weak, and vulnerable. Unity, once a group's greatest source of strength, becomes a casualty of their schemes. The manipulator's greatest weapon is their ability to make you doubt your own instincts and question the people around you. In a world where survival depends on cooperation, their influence can be just as destructive as any act of violence. They are proof that division can be as deadly as any physical threat. So, how do you protect yourself? It all comes down to spotting the warning signs early. Your instincts can save your life. Let's break down the red flags. The opportunist often avoids direct answers. Their stories might change, and they might seem a little too interested in your supplies, your skills, or your daily routines. Be wary of anyone who offers help too quickly or asks probing questions about what you have stored away. The aggressor is usually easier to spot. Look for individuals who dominate conversations, use threats or intimidation, and seem quick to anger or escalate conflicts. They might try to control all group decisions or physically impose themselves on others. The manipulator, however, is the most subtle. You have to notice those who constantly gossip, who seem to enjoy drama and division, or who play people against each other. They might flatter you excessively or try to isolate you from the rest of the group. In all these cases, trust your gut. If someone's behavior feels off, it probably is. Awareness is your shield. Ignorance is a risk you simply can't afford to take. By learning to read these warning signs, you can protect yourself and your group before the real danger strikes. Knowing the threats is one thing, but what practical steps can you take? Survival is about more than just supplies. It's about making smart choices. In a collapse, your best defense is a trustworthy group. So choose your companions carefully. Prioritize people with proven reliability and a calm, level-headed approach to problems. From the very beginning, set clear boundaries. Share only what's necessary, and never, ever reveal the full extent of your resources or long-term plans. Establish group rules for making decisions and resolving conflicts. This structure helps prevent manipulation or aggression from taking root. Stay alert to changes in behavior. If someone in your group starts acting unpredictably or actively undermines group unity, you need to address it early. If necessary, be prepared to distance yourself from them. Don't be afraid to walk away from a person or a situation that feels unsafe, even if it means starting over. Your safety is paramount. Preparedness means having a plan, but it also means having the flexibility to adapt as new threats evolve. Panic leads to mistakes. Calm, deliberate action is what will keep you and your loved ones safer. By combining vigilance with practical boundaries, you can navigate the human dangers of a collapse and protect not just your survival, but your humanity. In times of crisis, fear can be overwhelming, but knowledge is your best defense. By understanding the threats posed by opportunists, aggressors, and manipulators, you empower yourself to act with vigilance and wisdom. A community built on trust and mutual awareness will always be stronger than chaos. Stay alert, trust your instincts, and remember that survival is as much about the people you're with as it is about the resources you have. In a world on the edge, knowledge is your shield. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Tipping Point Files for more survival intelligence. If you have your own experiences or questions, share them in the comments below. Stay safe out there.